Hey everyone, today I want to take a bit of a different tactic and talk about motivations. What are our motivating factors for being healthy, for eating right, for exercising? What are our motivations for getting to that point? I know that it's a very abstract point and it seems like it's very far off in the future. What we eat today really does affect what happens to us 10 years from now. What we choose to do activity-wise can affect how we feel in a year, in 3 years, in 4 years, in 5 years. And that seems very abstract. It's kind of like if we tell a student, okay, you need to do well on this test because if you don't, it may affect your future. And they say, how can doing well or doing poorly on a math test today affect my future? And it's tough to make them realize, well, if you choose to do well on this test, it can affect your confidence, which can affect what path you choose to take in your life, which will affect what kind of a job you have and your family and what kind of a life you have. And the same is true of our health choices. The choices that we make will affect us a year down the road, 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, which seems very abstract. And it's very tough to focus on what's going to happen in 3 years and 5 years. We don't even know if we're going to be here in 3 years and 5 years. So sometimes it's easy to say, well, hey, I don't care. I might not even be here. But what if you are? So there's two kinds of motivating factors. There are positive motivations and there are negative motivations. And those factors are, for me, are probably very different than what they are for you. We're all at different stages in our life. We all have different abilities. We all definitely have different genetics. And for some of us, genetics just isn't fair. Genetics of type 2 diabetes or an autoimmune disease or being overweight, having good looks, being intelligent, being male or female, those are things we can't control, but we learn to live with all of those things. So we have to learn to live with the genetics of our health, and we have to learn to deal with that. The question is, are our motivating factors positive or are they negative or are they a mixture? I think for most of us, they're probably a mixture of positive and negative. Negatives are, do we want 10 years down the road for our health to be terrible? Do we want to be a burden for those we care about? Do we want our quality of life to be so poor that life really isn't worth a whole lot? Or positive motivations. Do we want to be able to live a happy, active lifestyle and feel good about the way we look, whether we can move the way we want to move and do the things that we want to do? Get a pen and paper, write down what are our motivating factors, the positive motivating factors, the negative motivating factors, and what are the things that trip us up? Is it passing those fast food joints? Is it as we're checking out at the grocery store and we're so tired and we have to think about the meal that we're going to make later and how many people we have to make that meal for and how many different meals are we going to make and can we reward ourselves with food? Grocery stores put those things that are so tempting right there by the checkout on purpose because they know that's when we're at our lowest point for resisting those things. And they put them there so that they know these tired mamas who've just done all their shopping are going to come through there and they're going to think, oh, I deserve a reward. And I'm going to reward myself with a candy bar or I'm going to reward myself with a soda. When in actuality, we should be thinking of food as fuel and nothing more. Positive motivations, negative motivations. What are things that trip us up? What can be some positive motivations for us that aren't food related? What are negative motivations that have to do with food and with activity levels? Because they're all combined. We have to choose the right things to eat. We have to choose the right activities. We have to realize it is a long-term game. It's not just today that matters. It's down the road that matters. And the only way that we get from here to there is by making the choice every single day from 1 hour to the next. The journey of 1,000 miles starts with a single step. And I know you may be saying, well, I'm taking those GLP-1s now, so I don't have to worry about the food that I eat and the activity levels and all that stuff because this medication is taking care of it for me. But the fact is, we don't know what those are going to do to us long term. So if you're taking them, what you need to be doing is learning how to eat the proper things and getting the right activity levels so that your health can be better down the road. And the journey of having good health starts with every single choice. For you out there who are OCD, obsessive compulsive disordered people, one bad choice or one bad day or even one bad week does not mean that you give up. We don't go to sleep and have a bad night's sleep and say, oh, I'm never going to sleep again. That's a ridiculous idea. So we shouldn't be saying, I've messed up for this week, so I'm going to just give it up. It's useless. No, you can't do that. Everybody makes mistakes. No one's perfect. You just keep muddling through. You keep trying to make the right choices. You keep every day looking at, here's my motivation. Here's why I'm doing this. Is it because you want good health, or is it because you want good health so that you can protect the people you love from having to care for you day in and day out? What are those motivations? Keep those motivations in mind. Spend some time thinking about them. And we're going to be talking about them again in the future. So good luck. Talk to you soon.